I wanted to know from you what would Iran want from India for it to agree to give Indian ships the same kind of unfettered passage through the Strait of Hormuz that say Chinese ships are enjoying today?
India is a large country. Certainly, there are major economic sectors in India that have no economic connection with the United States, and therefore would be not be concerned about U.S. sanction. If India decides to work with Iran outside from the framework of U.S. sanctions, I think the relationship between the two countries would definitely change. Let me speak about the Chabahar case. The presence of the IPGL company in Chabahar had so far brought no tangible benefits to Iran. In fact, it has been even disrupted in Iran's relations with China and Pakistan. China and Pakistan believe that this company entirely is a security oriented and security based company and has come to
Which
Chabahar.
which which company are you talking about?
IPGL is the operator of the Chabahar uh, port. Uh, some officials think that this company is completely security-based company and has come to Chabar to undermine the China and Pakistan economic corridor. India has also showed that even in the Chabar case, it fully operates within the boundaries of the U.S. sanction. Frankly, as long as India acts entirely in line with US sanctioned policies, it is unlikely that the stable and trust-based relationship between two countries can be established. You certainly heard about the north-south corridor from Russia to Iran and then to India. As you know, the main sign of these accord was in 2001, and after that, we was completely patient to have and to see the fruits of these accord and relationship. But until now, what we gained from the presence of the IPGL company in the Chabahar only some equipments. There is no investment in the railways from the Chabahar port to the north, as the Indian officials say that from Chabahar we want to get access to Central Asian countries like Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and also, but until now, we didn't see any try by Indian officials to invest in the railway through the north.
But earlier in your response, Mehdi, you mentioned that there are certain sectors in the Indian economy which do not have much linkages with the US. And maybe in those sectors, if India is able to build some kind of connections with Iran, it might help. Can you elaborate on that? Like, what exactly did you mean by that?
For example, mm, I hear that there are some parts of the economy that have no relationship between United States. This is the case for China. China is a big country, and a lot of big companies are working with United States. But also there are a lot of regional and small companies that know any access to U.S. Accounts and U.S. economy, so Iran can work with them. I think, and we think that this is the case. This is the case for India, but also for companies that have a relationship with US. I think there are some sectors that can cooperate better with Iran, like medicine companies, that is their actions, it's outside the framework of the sanctions. we think that importing more and more commodities in medicine sector and cooperating with each other in this area can strengthen our relationship, and also maybe in IT. I think our countries can have better relationship with each other.
Now, many analysts are saying that the goal of the United States and Israel in this military assault or campaign is no longer regime change, but it is regime collapse. The kind of Libya kind of a situation is what would be an ideal outcome. We don't know if that is the case, but how real is this threat of regime collapse given the assault which is happening on a daily basis, the degradation of the leadership capabilities through targeted killings, and also internal divisions? People talk about how there may be attempts to get the Kurdish militia groups involved as some kind of a preliminary force on the ground before maybe ground troops come in from the US and so on. So there are also, again, as you pointed out earlier, mass protests which were a symptom of internal discontent within Iran with vis-a-vis the current government. So how big is the risk or the threat to the current government in Iran, the state structure, from the Kurdish militant groups and other internal factions which could be used by US and Israel to sort of foment a civil strife?
The 12-day war led people in Iran, despite their differences in attitudes, to rally around the Iranian flag. As a result, the United States and Israel concluded that they first need to create unrest in Iran through economic and social pressure, and then by assassinating senior Iranian officials, create the condition for maximum chaos and regime change. However, I think this scenario failed. From the very first day until now, the streets have been dominated by people who support the government. All of the nights, the people go outside of their homes, they gather and they march in streets by the flag of Iran. And I can say that until now, there were no possibility for big unrest against the Islamic Republic. As you know, some days ago, Reza Pahlavi, the main opposition person against the Islamic Republic, announced their people to gather in the street to, for example, make an unrest, but they did nothing. Precisely, they did nothing because the streets are completely dominated by the pro-regime people and crowds. Based on my own sense, I think that once again, a portion of Iranians have rallied around the Iranian flag after witnessing the scale of destruction and the damage to homes, hospitals, and infrastructure. Therefore, I do not consider the outbreak of a new wave of unrest very likely. But your question about the courts, in the early days, there was strong speculation that separatist groups might attack Iran from the West. However, Iran immediately targeted their main bases in Erbil in the Kurdistan region in Iraq and issued very strong warnings to them. At present, the threat from Kurdish separatist groups has significantly decreased, although we must remain fully vigilant. I should emphasize again that Iran is a large nationwide and nation state with a deep civilization. The vast majority of Iranians do not accept separatism or partition of the country under any circumstances. and there is no disagreement among them regarding the preservation of the country's territorial integrity. They are all of Iranians see that the integrity of the geography of Iran must be completely assured.
That's all I have for you in this episode of In Focus. Mehdi, thank you so much for coming on this show. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.